Hey, I'm so emotional. I love my Glock. Chance rules everything around me, so what's realer? About this thriller, call me a ghost face killer.
Okay, y'all, welcome to part 2. We're going to start this episode up with talking about the NIL and how it affected and changed young athletes today.
Yeah, well, I think, JJ, we spent a lot of time the last episode just talking in general terms. I feel like we could probably spend 2 hours talking about NIL.
Yeah,
there are a lot of levels to it, but from a very broad sense, I think you were starting to bring up on the last episode, or maybe it was when we were talking in the break, but you were starting to bring up how NIL was going on back in the day, but not going on.
NIL, yeah.
But now the stories are starting to pop up everywhere.
Mm-hmm.
Statute of limitations are over in most cases,
Yeah.
I guess. But I think that it's a good thing and a bad thing, right?
Mm-hmm.
When I see kids, we'll do it from a basketball, maybe in football sense.
Yeah.
Those are the revenue generating sports. But when you see kids that are able to bring revenue in large amounts to these universities, and they're compensated for it, I'll say that the first point is if they're able to be compensated in whatever manner they are, anywhere from 50 to 50,000 to 9 million in some cases, right? That means that there's money behind that much greater than that would afford the universities or the industry itself to be able to do that.
Yeah,
so
they've been eating off us. Yeah.
For sure.
Yeah. It's only fair though.
Right. It is. I think they're getting their fair share. I do think, which there was an attempt to do by the NCAA, I would say by college sports in general, to put some guardrails in place.
Yeah.
Right. So what has happened in my point of view is that, I don't think there's much argument there for most people, is that the combination of NIL around the same time that we have the transfer portal.
Oh yeah.
Along with,
I almost forgot about the transfer portal. Yeah.
Along the transfer portal coming along around the same time as NIL. And then you couple that with the pandemic, which the NCAA, in my opinion, did the right thing by giving people more years of eligibility, right? Mm-hmm. You have all those things. We're just kind of on the tail end of all those things being mixed together. Mm-hmm. We basically have had free agency in college sports.
Yeah, basically, yeah.
Free agency, the highest bidder. And you see, I forget who it was, but there was a kid I was watching the other night. He's on his fourth school in 5 years, and he's made a little bit of money. He's impacting.
That was unheard of back in the day.
It was unheard of. Yeah. But the good thing, JJ, with that, in that case, they said this young man had already gotten his degree. I was like, cool. Well, more power to him, right? He was able to do all that transferring. In the midst of transferring, he was able to get his degree, so more power to him.
Yeah, you have those cases where some kids, I think the negative side of the transfer portal is they just jump ship when it gets too hard. They don't want to stick it through or work hard to get to fight for their spot, or they just going for the money or whatever. Right. Instead of just building chemistry and trying to get that championship, whatever.
For sure. I think when right before the NIL was approved, you did see a lot of that with the portal where and even before the what I call the portal era that we're in now, where there's really a lot of movement, people were transferring. And at first I was like, man, why are they? It is kind of like that life lesson thing. Like, man, it's a little rough, but just kind of wait your turn. Yeah. But I kind of get it now, right? Like, it's a limited amount of time. Yeah. I see both sides of it.
Yeah, it's a double-edged sword.
It is, for sure. Limited amount of time that you have to take advantage of your talents, and you want to make sure you're doing that. But at the same time, you have these coaches who jump ship as well. Yeah, so I think that's part of the reason that the transfer was. I know for a fact that's part of the reason that the transfer is like it is now, because coaches were leaving, and of course the official language is that you don't go to a school because of the coach, you go because of the education institution. But we all know that coaches do the recruiting, right? So that's part of the deal.
Yeah, I just wish it was like a limit on how many times you can transfer.
I think that's the next version of this that we'll see. I think we'll see a limit on how many times you can transfer, and or on a contractual basis, you're going to start to see for these NIL deals.
Oh yeah, you have to play a couple seasons before you transfer,
or give some money back. I think all those things have been talked about. There's a lot of money out there. We'll probably get more into NIL, but I don't know if you saw the news last week that the University of Utah, they partnered with an organization to where private equity is now in. So
I didn't know that.
Yeah, so they've got upwards of, what I read was upwards of $500 million that's going to be infused into the program at the University of Utah. So that's
just basketball or
all programs.
All programs. Okay, I was about to say, dang, they about to get all of that.
All programs, but the way they divide it up is they really portion it out or divide it out based on the revenue generating sports get the most. So football is a big revenue generator in America and has the most players of any team, so they get the lion's share, followed by basketball, men's basketball, women's basketball, and then in some cases baseball or whatever sports are really popping at that university.
All right, bet, cool. So I know with the transfer portal too, back in the day when you transfer, you had to like sit out a year or something like that. So I'm kind of glad that they took that out, because that's kind of stupid that you got to sit out a year just to just play again. Cause you're wasting your time and your youthfulness. And, but that's a plus side to.
I think it is too. I would agree. I would agree on that for sure.
Do you think the money though can get to the athlete's head? Like, does it mess up their drive and their grind?
I think for some of them it could. Some of them it might be a motivator to get to the next to get to professional level, but I think it could. I think what you the rumblings that you get coming out of colleges these days, and if you talk to some coaches, it creates a sort of weirdness, a dichotomy, a weirdness, because if you think about before, recruiting was just about who was going to get playing time. Yeah. Now it's about playing time and money.
Like, play them if you pay them that much money. Yeah.
So think about what it does to team camaraderie or cohesiveness if you have a guy that is making $140,000, and then you recruit a guy at the same position that's making $70,000, but the $70,000 player is starting to get the minutes and has the production. There's going to be a little bit of a rift there, right? So that is what I think some college coaches are dealing with. But maybe it's a good problem to have for them. I mean, because to your point, like you said a little bit earlier, we weren't here years ago. Yeah. This is something this is uncharted territory. Yeah. So they just
kind of still like experimenting with it.
And it's changing so quickly.
Yeah, it
is so much.
Like an example I can think of, like most recently, was Cam Ward when Miami was playing their bowl game, and he didn't play this. He just played to get his like record, and then he didn't play the second half. Like that stuff like that is like they already paid you the money. Like, you might as well just go ahead and try to like finish the game and win the game for your team or whatever. Right. But I mean, I get it too. You want to protect yourself for the NFL stuff too. You don't want to get hurt in the bowl game.
I was going to say kind of what you were saying. I see both sides of it, because we had gotten to a point just before the era we're in now, and still like that a little bit, where guys weren't even playing in bowl games. If it was not a BCS matchup or something that impacted the national title, guys were sitting out because they wanted to protect the investment, right?
See, I didn't know. I thought it just started with the NFL. No, I mean, not NIL.
No, it was happening a little bit before that, where guys that they were potential top picks in college football would sit out. They say, hey, this bowl game that really doesn't mean much. It's cool to win, put in. I'm not going to disparage whatever bowl, but I'll make up one, put in the Drummer Boy Bowl. If we win that, great. Yeah. Bragging rights over whoever we beat. But if I twist my ankle up or pull a hammy in the process, then that impacts my draft status. Right.
Yeah. So I understand that. So with the money with women's sports, you know how like the WNBA, they don't get paid as much or whatever, and there's most of their salaries are kind of low. Right. But in the NCAA, they're making more money than they would in the WNBA.
In some instances, right.
Yeah.
Right.
So some women, like, they stay longer in college just so they can get the money while they can. What do you feel about that?
I think you're starting to see that on both the women's and men's side. But I think it's great.
I think the men's they try to get out of there.
I think it depends.
The women stay.
Right.
Well, they have to stay, don't they? The women?
No, they don't have to. But I think because of it's all an economic issue, right? Okay. So if they leave early, then they've walked away without their degree. Yeah. In a profession where they have to mainly go overseas to really get their bag.
Yeah, and it's harder to make it into the league because there's less spots than at the NBA. There's only 12 teams in WNBA or something like
so
that.
They haven't gone through expansion. There's talk of them expanding the league because of popularity. Shout out to Caitlin Clark and Angel Reese and all the other ballers that are really helping the league grow. But it's beneficial for them to stay. That's why I think it's a beautiful thing for the ones that are really good to get some of that NIL money flowing in. So it's another added benefit. But even we'll take the example on the men's side. Tahad Pettiford at Auburn, he decided to stay this year. He was projected to be top 10.
Yeah, because he did go in the draft and he came back. Yeah,
right. So I think he's getting somewhere around 3.5, maybe $4 million this year in NIL, which is on par with the rookie scale. So maybe he can
bad right there.
No, that's not. I take that all day, man. But that's pretty comparable to the rookie scale, especially if you fall out of the top 3 on the rookie scale in the NBA. He would probably make somewhere around 3.5, depending on where you fall. Lower first round, he's probably making more if he's lower first round on that first contract. So, and I would say based on his performance, I don't think he's hurt himself. There are more people. There are probably more players that might impact his draft position, but he definitely hasn't from gameplay. In my opinion, he hasn't hurt himself.
He's still playing at that level.
Absolutely. If not, I think he got better.
Okay.
Actually, I think he got better.
Yeah, I just feel like the women. I thought they had to stay at least like 2 or 3 years. They can't do one and done in the women. I might be mistaken though.
Yeah, I mean, I would have to look into that, Jay. I don't know off the top of my head for sure, but
because I feel like Juju, she was ready after the freshman year.
I think so.
Yeah, so
I think she was. Now she was getting some good money. You know, she was getting some good NIL money.
She was gonna make a bag off the court. So
yeah. And hopefully, you know, she'll heal up. You know, the ACL and the ligaments will heal up to where she can still do what she needs to do. You know, you hate to see injuries derail anybody, but that's where the NIL comes into play too, I think. Because if you get injured in college, there's no clause that I know of where you don't receive the rest of your NIL money. Yeah. So at least you got something out of it. Yeah. And now with the way medicine is, they do a pretty good job of making sure you heal up.
And they take care of your medical expenses and stuff like that.
So. Absolutely. And then it's up to you to take care of the money you have. That's a whole different discussion, right? Yeah. Managing the money.
But yeah, I think it's good that women are starting to have bigger brands. Yeah. And you know, we both have daughters, so it's a good look for women's sports. I'm glad it's it's growing and getting more eyes on it and more opportunities for the women.
And I think in general, I think in popularity, you know, whenever I go and I talk to these different clubs and recreational teams, they all tell me that for women's sports, the popularity is growing, both for basketball, volleyball. Yeah. I don't know about softball as much, but I know that
I think they've been making some money too because
and the interest is there.
Yeah,
for sure.
They've been paying them pretty good too. I seen the picture. I think the black girl from Texas A&M. Yeah, she's getting a bag too. So if
you have the talent, the money is out there for sure.
What things do you tell your daughter about like that? Is she in sports?
Yeah, she plays volleyball.
Volleyball, okay.
Track,
So what advice are you giving her as she goes through? I'm pretty sure she's going through that process of like college and big college and stuff like that. So
what I tell her is kind of what you said a little bit earlier. Shoot for the stars. Be realistic in your ability and what you see. So she watches a lot of volleyball. She sees the physical attributes. Some of these girls are 6'3", 6'4", 6'5".
They got that vert and stuff,
and they can jump. She's not going to be that height. Yeah. But I think what you do is you're realistic. The first part is having your academics in order. So I think I'm proud that she's done a good job of that. Her academics are in order. But then you leverage where you are and your ability to maximize that. And you have to really ask yourself, we have these hypothetical conversations all the time. What if a Division 2 or 3 school says they want you to come play for them, but you can go academically to a larger Division 1 type university? What are you going to do? Just to get that thought process going as to, do you want to continue your career? Maybe at a level you didn't think was going to be your career path? Or do you want to go for academics? Yeah.
Do you know if she's super into sports or she just doing it just to do it?
No, she's into it.
She's into it.
She's into it. Yeah.
So she takes it serious.
She takes it serious, right? And I think that's I think parents, I'll say this, parents, I look into the camera. Parents, you have to be realistic about how serious your kids are about making it to the next level. It's not your dream, it's their dream. So I would say, yes, she's very interested in going to the next level, and she puts the work in. But there's one thing that I've always heard coaches say, and then professional athletes say as well. You might think you're working hard, but you haven't really started working hard yet. Right? So there's always more you can do. But that you do have to have that seriousness about it, no doubt.
Yeah, it's a little bit too early for me to know whether or not Layla gonna be in sports. She's a little girly right now, but hopefully she'll get into basketball or something. I think she'll probably be like dance or cheer or something. But
they give out scholarships for those too.
Yeah. So I want to talk about how athletes can build their brand to if they wanted to get an NIL. Of course they want to, but like how they can acquire NIL by building their brand.
Great question.
I know you had like with your job with technology. I want you to explain and like introduce to the listeners what you're working on.
Yeah. So I'll say, to answer your question directly, JJ, on how athletes can position themselves best for NIL, it starts with brand building. So that's the first part. And a lot of that's done through social media. So in part one of our discussion, we talked about the all of us have this little computer in our pocket. So it's really easy to add content and build your brand. So you want to do that as much as possible. With what we do, my company is called NIL Sports Tech. We have a platform that allows you to not just build your brand, but allows you to, through AI, through the advances of AI, go out there and be proactive about sending out and getting NIL deals as well as recruiting. So what we do is we take athletes and we have them as part of our service, as part of our platform. You can build your own app. So you would have, if we rewind the clock back to when you were playing your playing days, you would have the JJ Fleming app. And on the JJ Fleming app will be all your highlights, stats. And through that app, you could put in there, you could say, I'm JJ, I'm averaging 20 points, whatever. I'm looking for NIL deals, and the app itself will send out to local businesses and say, this is JJ.
So you don't even have to like go through email and different brands and nothing. It just does it all for you.
It does it for you. And you can have a target list and it'll do it all for you.
Okay.
It comes up. It even creates the pitch for you. So it creates the email and will send it out for you. You can change it. You can edit it, but it'll do it for you.
Okay.
It also will do, from the recruiting standpoint, we talked a little bit earlier about recruiting. It'll also send emails out to coaches. Okay. So the same AI engine will send emails out to coaches to say, hey, I'm JJ Fleming. I'm 6 foot. I'm going to go into this body I got. I got a good jump shot. No, it'll do that for you. Send the overtures out to coaches for you.
Essentially, it's doing like a lot of the heavy work and getting your brand out there and getting the eyes put on you.
Right. So what it can't do, though, is build your brand by posting and being active on social media. Okay. Right? That's all driven by the individual. So yes, schedules are busy. Yes, you have workouts. Yes, you have school ball, you have your club ball, whatever it is you do. But if you really if you're serious about NIL, then you should build your brand and not do one thing that we talked about a little bit earlier in the last episode.
What was that?
That's have a crazy post in the middle of the night that you can't take back, right? That's a brand killer. So you don't want to have those instances at all.
Yeah, only make posts that's productive towards your brand and growing your brand.
Absolutely. Yeah. No negative posts. As much as you want to click send, don't click send on those posts.
I see posts from different high schoolers and stuff, like posting like their workouts.
Those are great posts.
Or like a 1v1 like King of the Court type of workouts and stuff like that.
People love the behind the scenes. They love the workouts. They love
or a day in the life.
Day in the life is great.
Right.
So right. And I would say too, JJ, we do some education around what we do. So when it comes to NIL, one of the key things to remember is that they can't have any affiliation with their school, right? Okay. Meaning that if you went to, South Shore High, just make up a high school, and your colors are silver and navy blue, you couldn't have a South Shore shirt on while you're doing your NIL deal. It has to be devoid. That. It has to be devoid of any school colors. Okay. Now you could say you're an athlete that plays basketball or baseball or volleyball or whatever.
It's only in high school, right?
This is high school, but some of those similar rules apply to college athletes as well.
So if y'all looking to build y'all brand, I'll probably put like the link or something, or like a website up there on the video, and they can go to that and check you out.
For sure. Come see us.
What do you think is the biggest misconception of young athletes about success in sports?
I think it's about they think it's the highlights, right? Mm-hmm. They think it's the glitz and the glamour. Not everybody's going to be the leading scorer, the leading touchdown generator, the number one in kills in volleyball, the biggest hitter in baseball. But if you can impact, coaches are looking for positive impact on a team, right? Sometimes they're looking for very, very specifics in a player or attributes or what they feel like their team needs to be completed or rounded out. But they want somebody that's going to contribute. I think the kids miss that. Everybody's a producer in high school. You might not be that top producer whenever you get to the next level. Yeah. And I think a lot of kids miss that. And kind of like you said, a lot of kids are ACC, Big Ten, SEC, or bust. Yeah. And it's not that. Yeah, it's not. There are a lot of good producers. It was Dennis Parker Jr. for Radford just had like 53 points in a game. He transferred from NC State to Radford. Yeah. And he put up like 53 points. Dang. I would say he's doing pretty well. Yeah, right? Yeah. You know, he's not at the same level, but it's still Division I, and he's put up 53 points. That's doing pretty good.
Even with some of your pro athletes, like I would say CJ McCullum, he went to Lehigh, smaller school. Yep. Cam Newton, he transferred from a big school to a JUCO and then went to Auburn.
Went back up. Right.
So there's different paths you can take to success. So
absolutely.
I think
success for everybody looks different.
It looks different. Yeah. I think that's why I was about to say that my biggest misconception with young athletes, like they think success looks one way. Yeah. When it's
different for everybody, for sure.
All right, and then who was an athlete back in the day that like surprised you, that just came out of nowhere?
You know, I would say I've been surprised so many times over and over again. And do you mean by somebody I thought wasn't going to be good that ended up being great, or somebody that just hit the scene and was like tearing it up?
Well, yeah, like, so for example, for me, I don't want to say this. I'm going to go ahead and say it. John Wall. Okay. I didn't think, because he went to East Garner, right, with us, right, with Cam and stuff. In middle school, I think I could have beat John Wall back then, but he was just always fast. He was an athlete, though. He was fast and stuff. But then out of nowhere, he was just like the biggest thing smoking. Yeah. Yeah.
I would say definitely, he came through when I was doing my site. His rise was meteoric. Because he went from kind of unranked to
nobody knew who he was
in the nation. So his rise was pretty meteoric. Surprised though, that's a good question. I'll say this, and this kind of goes back to the generational thing. Going back in time a little bit, I used to go and pick up magazines and try to read publications on who was the next this, who was the next that, who to look out for. And as recently as this would have been 2003 when Carmelo Anthony, for some reason when you asked that question, Carmelo came up in my head. Okay, he was supposed to be good, but the first time I saw him, I was like, this dude is serious. Dang. Yeah, he was serious, and I mean, he took him to the national championship. But when Melo hit, I knew he was coming a little bit. Saw a little bit on Sports Center, read about him. There weren't all the things on the internet. There was no social media, right? But when I saw this guy, I was like, yeah, he's for real. Yeah.
I think with me, like in 2003, because I've been a LeBron fan since like his high school days when he was on the cover of Sports Illustrated, stuff like that. But I think back then I was just going with the hype because I was like, oh, it's a high school kid on the front of a magazine. Like, I like him. It's crazy. Yeah, crazy. And then everybody saying he's the chosen one. I was like, that's my guy. Like, I like him. And then he lived up to the hype.
He's one of the few, man.
Yeah, exactly.
The hype was there, and a lot of people, you know, they try to anoint a lot of people as the next whatever. There are a few that I think Bryce Harper's another one in baseball. He lived up to it. He was on the cover, but there are only a few that really live up to the hype.
Yeah. What advice would you give to like the millennial and Gen Z parents about like coaching your kids up in sports and like how involved you got to be, or like sometimes parents get too involved? Like, where is that median?
Good question, man. Yeah, good question. I think, you know, kind of again in the whole theme of generational changes, that's been a big change as far as I always say you can spend as much time and money on youth sports as you want to.
Yeah.
And that was not the case when you or I were coming up.
Yeah.
Right. Everything had a season, and there were some people that might have played year round, but those were like the top players. I say, man, let your kids choose their path. Don't choose their path for them. Let them try everything. Let them see where their gifts are. And if you be honest with them and honest with yourself. If they're serious about making it to the next level, you'll kind of know.
Yeah.
If they complain about going to a practice on a Thursday night and they say they love it, then maybe you back off a little bit.
Yeah.
Let them do something else, and maybe they'll come back to it. But you can't force them. If they're asking you to go. They're asking you to go throw the ball with them or work on whatever or take them to the gym or go to the next training. That's when you know that they're serious.
Yeah.
That's when
I think I'm gonna have trouble with that because I'm gonna try to force like a little bit. Like, yo, please just take the basketball.
well, I think it's good to show them, train them, teach them different skill sets, but kind of let them choose their own way. They'll let you know. And I use an example of my own daughter. She didn't play, she's pretty good at volleyball, but she didn't start playing until 7th grade. Yeah. And she's done pretty well at it. And, we're just kind of letting her be a kid, let her try swimming. She did pretty well at swim. Let her try to swim, let her do cheer for a little bit, let her try different things, and they'll gravitate to whatever it is they really like.
Basically just let a kid be a kid.
Yep, that's it, man. Let a kid be a kid.
All right, well then, Kerry, it was a good episode,
I appreciate it, man. So, hey, JJ, we'll have to do this again, man. This is fun, man.
Yeah, we're gonna try to get one of your brothers on here too. We're gonna get the Smith family in here, man.
We can talk about whatever, man. We can talk about sports again. We can talk about anything, man. Music.
Yeah. We're gonna get that episode soon. Me and my mom are gonna get that episode of music.
Let's do it, man.
Yeah, we're gonna I'm trying to get your brother Cameron in here to talk about him, the Hall of Famer. Yeah. So we're gonna have some more guests up here, y'all. It's gonna be plenty of good episodes, quality content coming in the future. And appreciate you coming in and
doing your thing, man.
Having this conversation with me, and very informative to our listeners about if their kids are coming up and going through the process of choosing schools and stuff like that. So
check out the link, guys. Check us out.
Yeah, I'm gonna put that up. Put that up top here somewhere. I'll get the information from you. We'll put that up there.
All right, cool, man. I appreciate it, Jay.
Until next time, y'all. Peace.
All right.
Free. Switch hustle's been killing them ever since. Get paid to tell the truth, dog. It only makes sense. When they play that new G's, all the dope boys go crazy. And watch the dope boys go crazy. I pop my collar, then I swing my chain. You can catch me in the club, pimpin', doing my thing. When they play that new